NBC5 medical expert Dr. Robin Miller joining us for this week's Focus on Health.
Thanks for being here, Dr. Miller.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get to our very first question tonight. Is there anything new available to help with the treatment of infections, especially with all the drug resistance that's occurring?
Yes, researchers in Sweden have found new possibilities with fungi. They were able to sequence genes from 24 different species of penicillium and found over 1,000 pathways. This will help scientists to find a variety of compounds with great medicinal potential. Fungi may be the answer to finding a new approach to antibiotic resistance.
Okay. Do we know how many people are affected by antibiotic resistance?
Unfortunately, about 2 million people in the U.S. and 23,000 die each year.
Wow.
So it's a big problem.
Clearly. Okay. All right. Well, what about our next question? Would avoiding meat protein reduce my risk for type 2 diabetes?
Yes. A study conducted over 20 years of over 2,300 men in Finland found that diabetes risk is indeed decreased with the reduction of meat protein in the diet. Those who had the highest intake of plant protein were 35% less likely to develop type 2 diabetes than men with the lowest plant protein intake. Researchers concluded that replacing 5 grams of animal protein with plant protein per day decreases the risk of diabetes by 18%.
Wow. Was daily intake of dairy and fish protein associated with increased risk of diabetes?
It was not.
Okay.
So if you're going to start somewhere, start with the meat.
Interesting. Nice. And our last question tonight, is our preference for certain foods genetic?
It may be. A study done by the Genetics and Lipid-Lowering Drugs and Diet Network study has found certain variants of genes do influence our food choices. One in particular was found on the receptor gene for oxytocin, also known as the love gene. People with this variant had a higher intake of chocolate and larger waist circumferences. There are other genetic variants associated with higher salt and fat intake.
Okay. So where do we go with this? How will this help us in the future?
I think it'll help people to tailor their diets to the individual. Once you know their genes.
Once you have them. Okay. All right. Fascinating. All right. You can send your questions to Dr. Robin Miller at our KOBI TV NBC5 Facebook page. Send us a message, and you may see your questions right here next Tuesday night.
Hey, Dr. Miller, thanks so much. Now I know where my black licorice love comes from.
Exactly.
It's in the genes.
Exactly.
NBC5 meteorologist Adam Kolpak's up next with your pinpoint weather forecast.
But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight in prime time.